Have you ever stumbled upon something so chilling it makes your blood freeze? In the humdrum of an ordinary day, the attic, a place of forgotten memories and dust-laden artifacts, presented an unexpected surprise. Nestled amidst worn-out trinkets and faded photographs was an old, ominous wooden box. It wasn't just any box. This one was ancient, its age hinted by the layers of time etched onto its surface. Every inch of it was adorned with intricate carvings, patterns that were both fascinating and eerie. But what really caught the eye was an unidentifiable symbol, a cryptic insignia that sealed it shut. This wasn't your everyday discovery, it was an enigma, a mystery that begged to be unraveled. The box, silent yet screaming of untold tales, ignited a curiosity deep within. But as they say, curiosity can be a dangerous thing. Little did I know, opening this box would plunge my world into unfathomable darkness. The box, however, had a mind of its own. There was a certain sentience that seemed to emanate from its ancient wooden confines. As if by an unseen hand, its lid creaked open, revealing its secrets for the first time in centuries. Nestled within, a collection of old cryptic letters and an artifact of unknown origin lay dormant, waiting for their moment to be rediscovered. The artifact was an enigma, its purpose lost to time. The letters, though faded, seemed to whisper forgotten tales of dread and despair. Suddenly, a strange symbol on the box began to glow, casting an eerie light around the room. The air, once benign, thickened with an indescribable dread, as if the very atmosphere recognized the box's ominous presence. Intrigue and curiosity overpowered any sense of fear, drawing me further into the box's enigmatic allure. I was too engrossed to notice the shadow that had started to creep up behind me. The very walls of my home seemed to close in, as an uncanny presence made itself known. It was as if the air itself had been sucked out, replaced by a cold, heavy silence that bore down on me with an almost tangible force. The once familiar surroundings now seemed alien, a hostile terrain where every shadow hid a lurking dread. I could hear whispers, soft and insidious, creeping into my consciousness from the farthest corners of the room, a language unknown, yet disturbingly familiar, as if dredged up from the darkest recesses of forgotten nightmares. The temperature dropped, a biting cold that seemed to seep into the very marrow of my bones. Each breath formed a frosty cloud in the air, as if I were caught in the grip of a relentless winter. The warmth of my home was now a distant memory, replaced by an icy chill that was as much psychological as it was physical. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized I was not alone. As the days turned into nights, the horror escalated. The once familiar abode transformed into an alien landscape shrouded in an atmosphere of creeping dread. Shadows danced menacingly on the walls, contorting into grotesque figures that seemed to watch my every move. An eerie silence enveloped the house, broken only by the hollow whispers that echoed from the corners of the room. Nightmares plagued my sleep, filled with visions of the cursed box and the unspeakable horrors it unleashed. Each dream was more terrifying than the last, a terrifying parade of nightmares that left me in a cold sweat. The dreams seemed so real, so visceral, that the lines between reality and the nightmare realm blurred. Every creak, every whisper, every fleeting shadow was a constant reminder of the malevolent presence that had taken hold of my home. The fear was a heavy weight, a constant companion in the deafening silence. I was caught in a nightmare that showed no signs of ending. The question remains, how does one fight a curse? How does one combat an unseen malevolent force that lurks in the shadows, waiting to strike when you least expect it? Can it even be fought, or are we mere puppets dancing to the whims of our unseen puppeteer? Each day, I search for answers. I delve into ancient texts, scour the internet for obscure forums, seeking anyone who might have faced a similar predicament. But the answers remain elusive, just like the curse itself. Each lead turns into a dead end, each ray of hope snuffed out by the relentless darkness. Perhaps the curse is not meant to be broken. Perhaps it's my fate to navigate through this endless night, a solitary beacon in an ocean of darkness. But I refuse to give up, for to surrender would mean to lose myself entirely to the curse. As I sit here recounting my tale, I can feel the darkness creeping closer. Will I find a way out, or is this the end? In a quiet, dusty antique shop, a young boy and his father stumble upon an intriguing painting. Its allure is inexplicable, drawing the father in like a moth to a flame. The painting, dark yet mesmerizing, seems to call out to him. Despite the boy's uneasiness, his father is captivated. He decides to purchase it, brushing off the boy's hesitation as childish fear. The shopkeeper, an old man with a weathered face, looks at them with a strange mix of relief and regret. He warns them about the painting's peculiar history, tales of misfortune befalling its previous owners. Yet the father, ensnared by the painting's strange allure, dismisses it as mere superstition. The boy, however, feels a cold shiver run down his spine, an instinctual warning he cannot ignore. With a sense of trepidation, they leave the shop, the painting safely tucked under the father's arm. Their lives, unbeknownst to them, forever intertwined with the cursed painting's fate. Back at their home, the painting takes its place on the living room wall. An eerie silence fills the room. The tranquility is a sweet but deceptive lull before a storm. The boy, with a sense of unease, gazes at the painting. His intuition tells him something is off. He shares his fears with his father, who laughs it off, attributing it to the boy's overactive imagination. Yet, as days pass, the father can't help but notice peculiar happenings. The painting, once a silent observer, now feels like a sentient entity. Its eyes, cold and lifeless, seem to follow the father around the room. An unsettling presence pervades the house, a constant reminder of the painting's ominous aura. Items go missing, only to resurface in the most unexpected places. Doors creak open when they should be closed, and lights flicker in rooms left unattended. The father, once dismissive, now finds himself questioning the normalcy of their situation. But he keeps his growing apprehension to himself, not wanting to alarm his son. He reassures the boy, telling him that it's all just a figment of his imagination. Yet every time he walks past the painting, he can't help but feel a chill run down his spine. As the father tucks his son into bed, he can't shake off the feeling of being watched. The house, once a haven, now holds a haunting secret, a secret they are yet to unravel. The nights grow restless, the days uneasy. The painting has cast a dark shadow over their once peaceful home. The tranquility of their existence is replaced with a chilling fear that seeps into every corner. The father and son, once joyous and carefree, are now caught in a tempest of terror, and it all stems from the painting they brought home. The curse of the painting begins to unravel, its malicious intent becoming more apparent with each passing moment. The father and son are plagued by nightmares, visions of the painting's subject, a figure shrouded in mystery that seems to come alive in their dreams. The figure's eyes, once static, now follow them around the room, a dark gaze that sends a shiver down their spines. The house, once their sanctuary, fills with whispers that echo off the walls. The whispers are indistinct, yet they carry an unmistakable menace. They can't make out the words, but the chilling tone is enough to send their hearts racing. Desperate, the father tries to remove the painting, but it resists. It clings to the wall as if bound by some unseen force. And even when it's momentarily removed, it reappears, its haunting image returning to its place on the wall, as if mocking their futile attempts at escape. With a growing sense of dread, they realize they're trapped in the painting's curse. The painting's grip on their lives tightens, its malevolent influence growing stronger. Their once peaceful home is now the stage of a horrifying nightmare from which there seems to be no escape. Desperate, the father returns to the antique shop, only to find it abandoned. The once thriving store is now a ghost of its former self, a chilling testament to the curse's power. Amidst the dust and decay, the father discovers a cryptic note hidden in the shop's darkest corner. His heart quickens as he reads the note, a guide to breaking the painting's curse. The note speaks of a ritual, a midnight sacrifice under a blood moon. It details a chant, words as ancient as the curse itself. But the final step is missing. The note ends abruptly, leaving them in the dark. Is it a lost detail or a cruel joke by the curse? The answer hangs in the air, as elusive as the painting's creator. As they stare at the cursed painting, they know they must unravel its secret or remain its prisoners forever. The mystery of the painting remains, a chilling reminder that not all stories have a clear ending.
Picture a quiet suburban neighborhood, a seemingly ordinary garage sale, and a young woman drawn to an antique mirror. Amidst the clutter of forgotten treasures and discarded memories, her eyes land on an ornate mirror. Its frame, a work of art in itself, is aged yet captivating. The mirror's reflection, oddly alluring, seems to dance with a life of its own, pulling her in with an unspoken enchantment. There's an immediate fascination, a magnetic pull that she can't quite explain. At the same time, a peculiar unease settles within her, a whispering dread that something isn't quite right. But she brushes it off, attributing it to the mirror's age, its mystery, perhaps even the thrill of the find. She's drawn in, captivated by the mirror's silent story. So, without giving it a second thought, she purchases the mirror, paying a price far less than it's worth. Little does she know, she's unknowingly invited a dark curse into her life. Scene script. Back at her home, the woman hangs the mirror. Soon, she starts to notice strange occurrences. As the days wear on, the mirror begins to unveil its eerie essence. The woman starts to see things in the mirror's reflection that simply aren't there when she turns around. A shadowy figure standing behind her, an old woman's face peering out from the corner, a child's laughter echoing from its depths, chilling visions that seep into her reality from the mirror's silver surface. The mirror has an uncanny knack for drawing her attention like a moth to a flame. It's an antique, yes, but there's something else about it, something captivating, something otherworldly. She finds herself standing before it at every chance she gets, losing track of time as she stares into its depths, entranced by its mysterious allure. But as her fascination grows, the reflections in the mirror become increasingly sinister. The laughter turns to screams. The shadowy figure morphs into a menacing specter. The old woman's face twists into a horrifying grimace. The mirror's reflections aren't merely odd now. They're terrifying, nightmarish visions that send shivers down her spine. The woman's world begins to revolve around the mirror. She spends hours, days even, entranced by the terrifying visions it presents. Every spare moment is spent in front of the mirror, consumed by the horrifying images that dance across its surface. Her friends and family notice her obsession, but their concerns fall on deaf ears. The mirror's curse grows stronger with each passing day. The visions become more vivid, more terrifying, more real. The woman can no longer distinguish between what's real and what's a reflection. She's drawn into the mirror's spell, unable to break free from its horrifying grip. With a growing sense of dread, the woman begins to realize the truth. The mirror isn't just a mirror, it's a gateway, a portal to another dimension, a realm of terror and nightmares. The woman has unwittingly opened the door, and now she must find a way to close it. She begins to realize that the mirror is not just a mirror, but a portal to another dimension. Faced with the horrifying truth, the woman decides she must close the portal before it's too late. A sense of urgency fills her every waking moment. As if some unseen clock is ticking, she throws herself into a frantic search for answers. She delves into the dusty, forgotten corners of libraries, scrolls through countless pages of arcane knowledge online, and even consults with supposed experts in the paranormal, but each effort seems to yield nothing but dead ends. The visions in the mirror become more terrifying, more vivid. Fiery landscapes, grotesque figures, and haunting apparitions dance before her eyes whenever she dares to glance at her reflection. The mirror's curse seizes her life, wrapping around her existence like a constrictor. It's a nightmare she can't wake up from, a reality she can't escape. It's as if the mirror has developed an insatiable appetite, feeding on her fear, her desperation, her very life force. Sleep becomes a luxury she can't afford as the mirror's grip tightens. The once vibrant woman is now a shell of her former self. Her eyes, once filled with life, now mirror the terror she experiences daily. Her skin, once glowing, is now pale and drawn. Every day, every hour, every minute, the curse gnaws at her, threatening to consume her whole. Her relationships crumble, her job becomes an afterthought. The mirror, the curse, the portal, they've become her life. She's caught in a whirlwind of chaos, a storm she can't weather. The mirror's pull is too strong, its hold too unyielding. It's a battle she's losing, a fight she's on the verge of surrendering to. But in the midst of this despair, a glimmer of hope emerges. In the depths of her research, she stumbles upon a potential solution, an ancient ritual steeped in mystery and danger. It's a gamble, a leap of faith into the unknown. But it's the only chance she has. Just as she is about to lose all hope, she stumbles upon a potential solution, a ritual that could close the portal. With newfound hope, she prepares to perform the ritual. Gathering the items she believes will break the curse, she stands before the mirror, a beacon of courage in the face of the unknown. The air thickens as she starts the ritual, each word echoing in the silent room, amplifying the tension that hangs like a storm cloud. As she utters the last word of the ritual, the mirror cracks. But did the ritual work? Or has she only made things worse?
In the hushed stillness of an attic, dust particles dance in the faint light seeping in from the solitary window. A seemingly ordinary day takes a sinister detour as a forgotten cobweb-laden corner reveals an unexpected find. Nestled amidst old photo albums and discarded clothes, an antique box whispers tales of a bygone era. As the latch is cautiously undone, a chill sweeps through the air, the silence broken only by the creaking of aged wood. Inside, nestled in faded velvet, lies a porcelain doll. Its milky white skin contrasts sharply with the crimson lips curled into an unsettling smile. The doll's eyes, once vibrant, are now dull, yet they seem to hold a strange allure, an inexplicable pull. Its delicate lace dress stained with time rustles softly, echoing forgotten lullabies. The doll, with its uncanny grin and vacant stare, seems almost alive. Little did we know this was not just an ordinary doll but a vessel of an ancient curse. As the days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold in the house. It was as if the very air had begun to thicken with an unspoken dread. The once comforting creaks and groans of the old house took on a menacing tone, echoing through the oppressive silence of the night. Whispers seemed to dance on the edge of hearing, a chilling symphony of sound that only grew more disconcerting as the hours wore on. Each hushed murmur, every soft rustle, seemed to hold a sinister intent. It was as if the walls themselves were speaking in hushed tones, recounting tales of the horrors they had witnessed. Objects began to move, shifting from their places as if guided by unseen hands. A book would fall from a shelf, a chair would scrape across the floor, a picture would swing on its hook. Each incident was minor, almost dismissible, but together they created a tapestry of unease that was impossible to ignore. And then, there was the doll. That cursed doll. It seemed to have a life of its own, appearing in the most unexpected of places. One moment, it would be sitting innocently on a shelf. The next it would be peering from a dark corner, its glassy eyes reflecting the dim light in an eerie glow. Its presence was felt everywhere, a silent observer to the growing terror within the house. The events escalated, each more chilling than the last. The chilling whispers became harsher, the movements more violent. It was as if an unseen force was growing in power, feeding off the fear that now saturated the house. The climax came on a night of a new moon, when shadows stretched long and dark, and the world outside seemed to hold its breath. The house was eerily silent, the whispers hushed, the movements stilled. And then, it was noticed. The doll was gone. Vanished without a trace. One night the doll was gone, vanished without a trace. In the quiet of the night, a chilling whisper echoed through the halls. The whispers, spectral and ethereal, told a tale as old as time itself. They spoke of a doll, not just any doll, but one that bore the weight of a curse so profound it could chill the marrow in your bones. The doll, they said, was a creation of malevolence, conjured into existence by a vengeful witch whose heart was as cold as the darkest winter night. The whispering voices painted a picture of a woman scorned, a woman whose love was betrayed, and in her rage, she imbued the doll with a curse. A curse that would bring misfortune to those who dared to possess the doll. The curse, they said, was as relentless as the tide and as merciless as a thunderstorm, sparing no one in its path. The doll, once a symbol of innocence and play, was now a harbinger of doom. It was a cursed object, a vessel filled with a witch's wrath and sorrow. Its glassy eyes held a haunting truth, a truth that revealed itself in spectral visions, in the stillness of the night. The curse was a chain, binding the doll and its possessor to a fate of eternal misfortune, yet, the whispers hinted at a glimmer of hope, a possibility of liberation. They whispered of a way to lift the curse, but it came with a caveat. The curse could be lifted, but at a terrible price. With the haunting truth revealed, a dreadful decision awaited. To lift the curse of the haunted doll, a perilous path lay before us. A path that could potentially unleash an evil far more powerful than we ever dared to imagine. A path that would test our courage, our resolve, our very sanity. Weighing the stakes, we stood on the precipice of the unknown, our hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. As the clock struck midnight, we made our choice. But was it the right one? To be continued,